before you go any further. Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange casts a spell to get Peter Parker out of hell. Now we're entering the Multiverse of Madness. Colors everywhere.
Tentacles. America Chavez.
All right, guys, we're gonna watch this Wandavision, quick limitation. Okay, that's the last one. Easter eggs and breakdown from new Rockstars today for that amazing trailer for Multiverse of Madness. Let's watch this. Hit that like button if you're here.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the latest trailer for Marvel's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which assures us
I will always be there, old friend.
Damn straight.
Checkmate! We are getting an MCU Illuminati lineup, including Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier. What is this movie? I gotta admit, I've outdone myself on this one, folks. Analyzing this trailer.
You're looking exhausted, Eric.
I don't think anyone else is insane
Been up
enough
all
to
night.
see or to talk about. And yeah, I'm also gonna include some stuff in the TV spot version of the trailer and clues in the official poster. Let's get started.
The whole package is here.
Every night,
Day
I
and
dream
night.
the same dream. And then,
So the trailer opens in Strange's nightmare, a frightening hellscape covered in bones and skulls, dead trees bent askew, and in front of him, a representation of the Sanctum Sanctorum melting into inky nothingness like the other New York buildings we saw in the first trailer, all invoking the comic book ink melting of reality in What If Episode 4, except this isn't exactly Strange's sanctum. It's significantly thinner than we last saw in Spider-Man No Way Home, and it is one floor taller. The effect is a more gaunt structure, like a croaking haunted hotel. What was
Fat shaming his sanctum.
fortress is now a withering skeleton of itself. And notice in the sky is a glowing red eye, reminding us, of course, of the red edges of Wanda Maximoff's hex reality in WandaVision.
good
This
call.
whole nightmare could be being projected into Strange's mind by the Scarlet Witch. Since the commercials in WandaVision were confirmed to be messages from Strange to Wanda, these two share a psychic link. Now, this Strange has a patch of blue sewn into the cloak of levitation, an inverse of the red patch on blue of Defender Strange, who saves America Chavez in a second. Blue versus red seems to be an important point of contrast in this film.
Rooster
Strange has
teeth.
been shifted from his normal red tones to blue tone, along with a lot of the settings in this to signal passivity, all to contrast
Interesting.
Wanda Maximoff's red chaos and violence.
That's interesting. You could actually interpret the colors of blue and red in many different ways. Blue often being associated with like protector, red being like fire and passionate. And then when you think about the two's motivations of what they represent in this movie, at least from what the trailers have been leading on, I feel like thematically that is a good production design choice for what they're doing, because I'm deep as shit.
Dude, that was so impressive.
So deep.
Now, on the other side of the sanctum doors, there's a reverse shot of Strange's entrance from the first trailer. Now we see how the stormy sea has claimed the whole sanctum structure, save for the central staircase, which now extends up and up and up into nowhere like a trick luring one to heaven, except it's not. It goes into this hellish red eye.
Well,
Now,
there's
at the base of the staircase, these weren't there the past times we saw the sanctum. Now these two statues, one male, one female, both bearing torches, may be representing the Maximoff twins. Then a teacup
cool.
shatters on the ground. Behind it looks like the wheel of an old wheelchair. Now this isn't exactly the wheelchair of Professor X from the X-Men films, but I suspect a lot is going to be changing for whatever cameos show up in this film. Then America Chavez gets strung up in front of a star portal, which, if you look closely, opens up to endless more star portals
Dang.
within that portal.
That's
This is
America
our
Chavez,
best
damn.
power to kick open these star-shaped portals, and we might actually be seeing the origin of her powers right here. We actually saw this same setting in the first trailer. I think it is her home reality, the Utopian Parallel. In the comics, the Utopian Parallel faces destruction from black holes, so her mothers sacrifice themselves, their particles dispersing throughout the multiverse, and the creature attacking her here may be, go with me on this, the Demiurge, who is the embodiment of Earth's sentient life, and in the comics, the original source of her powers, and we should mention, is one final form of Billy Kaplan, Wiccan, Wanda Maximoff's son,
okay.
which could be how this film ties the fate of Wanda and her sons to that of America Chavez. Then again, the Demiurge hasn't really been shown to be this hostile and demonic. Actually, another possibility here, this entity's ribbony appearance, like glowing electrical tape, could connect to Strange's spell, the Crimson Band strands of Cyttorak, which he used to restrain Thanos' Infinity War, which could make this fella maybe Cyttorak himself. Now, the TV shot actually showed in this moment an alternate Defender Doctor Strange, hair tied back in a ponytail with stripes, saving America Chavez from this thing, using what looks like a three-dimensional version of Strange's normal flat Eldritch magic to hold off the entity, which would then lead to the shot we see in this trailer of that same ponytail Doctor Strange tumbling through a star portal, a shot that flips upside down to find us back with our Doctor Strange in bed. But is it our Doctor Strange? Because his hands are fully healed, when in past films, Strange's hands are always meant to be forever scarred and weak. There's an iPad left open on his bed, coffee filters into test tubes on his nightstand. Strange said in this part of the trailer that he has the same dream every night, Hell Sanctum, his alternate self saving a kid, and then the nightmare begins. So the nightmare might be this reality that he wakes up into, a reality where he never became a sorcerer, he never injured his hands, and really just aged into a lonely douchebag falling asleep with his Pornhub tab still open.
Wow, that would be pretty nuts if actually this movie manages to mess with us on a perspective level. We think we're watching our Doctor Strange this whole time, and then we end up finding out like, oh no, what if they introduce the Strange that we're accompanied with throughout the MCU much later on in the movie, or like Act 2, like we have to wait a while before we get there. It looks like it would be like the opening scene, like a nightmarish opening scene that they were showing there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be such a boss move from a mystery level, and I feel like too with all the, you know, like leaks and speculation, everybody like, what are the cameos going to be? I feel like that could be a big asset to this movie if it could just put us completely off our pins and disorient us, so that the actual like nature of our main character is in question. I think that would be a really cool mystery.
Man, those demons look terrifying.
They do.
They do. That loop, oh my god, that's scary.
The nightmare begins.
They didn't do the
I did
previous
what
logos.
I had to do.
Now, when Strange says the nightmare begins, we should also acknowledge the possibility that the demonic entity Nightmare could be the villain of this film, as this idea was floated by the original director Scott Derrickson. The Marvel Studios title card turns purple and has tentacles snaking across the letters, evoking the limbs of Gargantos, but also one of the multi-limbed creatures in What If, which this movie seems to be showing the live-action versions of.
Strange Supreme.
Poster for this film, in the lower right corner, one broken shard of glass shows this shield of Captain Carter, hinting that Haley Atwell may show
Yeah,
up
that's
in this
nuts.
film as a live-action version of that character.
Do it.
Then Doctor Strange conjures these red orbs. If you look closely, they're coming from the Darkhold on the floor there. That's Marvel Lore's Book of the Damned that appeared on Wandavision first in Agatha's possession before it was claimed by Wanda. That's why the magic he conjures is now red like Wanda's chaos magic, as we saw her conjuring in that final WandaVision scene. We could be seeing a depiction of the various universes being connected in this movie, with Doctor Strange trying to locate one world in particular. And in the foreground of that shot, that looks like that is Wanda Maximoff standing there with him. But then Strange, suddenly afraid, slams all this magic back into the book as if he's trying to hide it from the person in the room with him. And on that page, you can see a triangle, perhaps a symbol of Marvel's Illuminati, a location he wants to hide from Wanda Maximoff, for reasons I'll get to later.
Wait a second. This might be, because with all the cameos that are being teased in here, because I put out a question on Twitter, like, what universes do you think we're going to be going to? And some people have their own theories that they were sharing on our social media, so I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11 to 12 universes here on frame. What if we're hopping to that many universes in this movie?
Oh,
as
God.
like the first setup for here's everything we'll be hopping to.
Every scene will be in a new universe.
From the looks of it.
I mean, you could at this point have just the only through line be your main character, if that.
So Strange argues that he did what he had to do to protect our world. Our world, as in his actions saved his universe at the expense of all other universes.
Forget the other universes. This is the American one.
An improper advantage to undo Thanos' snap, and more recently, he used his magic of the runes of Kafkal to basically gaslight and warp society into a whole bunch of plot holes. Mordo warned us about this, that when Strange would push the laws of reality like this,
The bill comes due. Always.
and like Strange in that What If universe bypassing an absolute point, this strangest reality has begun to melt the same exact way and open itself up to interdimensional threats.
God, I love what you're saying because of the fact that one of my concerns is that, okay, are we doing a little too much for one movie because you have to still have some type of level of character-driven narrative, like for Doctor Strange, not just like Wanda or supporting characters. And then the fact that this all seems to be coming back to like everything is indicating that it's dealing with the consequences of what we've seen Strange do in prior movies where it was strictly heroic stuff. And now it's, oh, what you did is actually, you know, this cacophony of terrible cataclysmic events, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's really cool weight to put on him that he has to solve.
Well, and it looks like here you could get a perhaps grayer approach to that than like in the What If episode. Like the What If episode is going, what if he's the kind of exact opposite of his own personality now, driven by this one obsession? Whereas here, you know, it seems like he's still trying to act with the world's best interest, and maybe it's going very wrong.
And thematically complements Spider-Man No Way Home as well, what Peter Parker had to deal with.
We see a new look at this melting from the rooftop, individual bricks breaking off, cars floating in that blizzard, headlights still shining. Now the melting of the buildings here seems to merge into these black strands, reminding us of the Ancient One's dark branch timeline that she warned Bruce Banner about in Endgame. And here it's not just that reality is melting.
It's great visual continuity.
Chaos is spinning into one beneficiary destination on the next level.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
So we see Scarlet Witch once again holding the seance in the Camartage courtyard. We know that's where it is because you can tell from the statues behind her in the floor beneath her, the same tiling that we see beneath that Minotaur sorcerer later. We get a better look of him in this trailer. This is Rintrah from the comics. But yes,
Oh, you do see it from look at it if you catch it.
attacking Camartage because actually in the TV spot, the sorcerers in that courtyard raise their shields to some floating figure overhead. I'm pretty sure that is Wanda. Now compared to her look at the end of WandaVision during the seance, her Scarlet Witch wardrobe has evolved. Her sleeves now cover her arms fully, and darker tones streak through her chest piece and her tiara. Also,
And more
as we
draping.
pointed out before, the tips of her fingers are black, similar to Agatha's fingers when she would use dark magic. And I like this right as we hear Strange say,
Somehow looks sexier there.
Shockwave blows out from her body. Now, in her orchard, if that is what it really is, Wanda tells Strange that Vision had theories about the multiverse that was dangerous. So, despite Vision warning Wanda, she still created an alternate reality in that Westview hex, and now continues to peer through alternate universes to find her children. And yes, this peaceful orchard with sheep is probably an illusion, because later in the trailer, as Wanda points out the double standard of Strange breaking the rules and him getting to be a hero, Strange is wearing the same outfit as he is here.
Oh, shit!
Wanda's actually
What?
in a much darker place in this moment, both in her mindset and in her literal surroundings. Moving on.
Oh, what a mind trip.
I'm sorry, Stephen.
What is any scene?
Will not go unpunished.
So Strange brings America Chavez and Christine Palmer to the ruins of what I think is the Utopian Parallel. And Christine wears this sleek blue outfit, and that's because this might actually be an alternate Christine Palmer whom Strange found working at Illuminati HQ, because the TV spot reveals Christine in these clothes plus a
Oh,
regular
fascinating,
outfit
okay.
in their detainment sector. Then Mordo, or perhaps an alternate
I
version
see.
of Mordo that might actually be Sorcerer Supreme from his native reality, detains Strange
Mordo.
using these nifty looking handcuffs. And I love the design of these because it's a mix of analog sorcerer machinery with runes engraved into that spinning lock in the middle, but overall they have this chunky silver chrome of something more futuristic, something that might be connected to the vibranium tech of these Ultron Sentries. Ultron Sentries who escort Doctor Strange in this awesome location that looks like a Supreme Court Hall of Justice. We see 4 kneeling winged statues and then a warrior with a sword and a ring, the way a certain multiversal warrior Captain Carter emerged from a circular portal with her sword in hand. Now this whole interior,
Founded the
ceiling,
Illuminati.
the curved staircases, the classic columns, is actually the interior of the British Museum in London, a place I've been to many times. I love the British Museum. It's famous for having the
Lucky.
Rosetta Stone, one of the earliest artifacts that anthropologists have used to translate, decode, cross-reference old languages, which is super fitting for Charles Xavier
Yeah.
to model his multiversal nexus point on such a cultural touchstone. Now, assuming this is Illuminati HQ, I find it fascinating fascinating the parallels between this and the Citadel of He Who Remains in Loki, which also had a lit tower, inner columns, and 4 statues in its central chamber, one of which was mysteriously destroyed. We never got an answer to what that was all about.
There was someone on Twitter who pointed out to me the way how, like, when there was a poster reveal for Endgame, how it's spelled Endgame or something like that when you look at the shapes.
Oh, yeah.
This spells Loki. Okay,
I can actually.
You can actually
see it. Yes.
Right? I don't know if that's intentional, but it's kind of cool to think about.
Doctor Strange 2 is secretly Loki season 2.
What I'm loving about this is that this is feeling like a supernatural movie, also a sci-fi movie, like a witchcraft with sci-fi. Like, when did we get shit like that?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Now, there are 6 chairs on the Illuminati panel, but we only see 3 members in this trailer. Could Kang have been a 4th member of the Illuminati who was cast out, leading to him constructing his own crude imitation of the Illuminati Citadel, a citadel, and a sham judicial bureaucracy of his own, run by
Solid theory.
Damn, that would be nuts. No, that's a good theory.
Absolutely.
We should tell him the truth.
Oh, baby, yes, one of the biggest reveals in MCU history, one that we will be unpacking for months to come. Yes, that was the voice of Patrick Stewart, Professor Charles Xavier in the Fox X-Men films, now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a member of what is almost certain to be the Illuminati. Now, Marvel's Illuminati is a secret alliance of Tony Stark, Charles Xavier, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt, and Namor. Black Panther was initially gonna be part of it, but he backed out. Actually, in Iron Man 2, Tony Stark had a little app on his phone labeled Illuminati. Fun little Easter egg there.
no way.
Illuminati, if they will still go by that name in the MCU, seem to be serving as a multiversal governing body with representatives from across universes. By bringing Fox X-Men characters into this, they're building on the meta logic from Spider-Man No Way Home. Marvel Studios is now adopting formerly separate cinematic universes as mere universes within their multiverse and expanding to the Fox X-Men titles. But if Patrick Stewart is a representative from a separate reality, that could limit how much of that separate reality we actually see in this movie, and which other Fox X-Men cameo just yet. Like Ian McKellen Magneto, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, maybe not, but Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, very likely, as he has been long confirmed to cross over to the MCU, and now that door has been opened. I mean, this could also give us some context, finally, to why Evan Peters was cast as Wanda's brother Pietro in her Hex. Now, yes, the show producers did say this is just a Ralph Boner joke, but the logic is all in place now. We never saw Ralph after Wanda's Hex, so it could just be as simple as Wanda's ability to warp reality might have caused her to pull the likeness of a Pietro from the nearest adjacent universe. Like if Tom Holland Peter Parker were to die in the MCU and Wanda Maximoff wanted to create a pocket reality where Peter was alive once more, the Peter in that Hex might look like Andrew Garfield. If that makes sense to you, Evan Peters actually being Pietro from his Fox X-Men timeline, crossing over into Wandavision could make an equal amount of sense.
But I thought in the show it was saying that Agatha's the one who found the body.
That was you.
A Crystallo possession. Real brother's body is on another continent. Crippled by your own self-doubt that you believed it.
Like, the theory lines up. Same time, I'm also going by the dialogue of what the show is actually saying.
Unless it's like an alley-oop or something where it's like Wanda pulled him in and then she double tricked him to think he's Ralph Boner, but to also then pretend he's Quicksilver, even though he's also Quicksilver. Yeah, it is a bit confusing there.
And also with Xavier, I'm wondering if they are going to pull him from the X-Men animated series instead. Clearly, we're pulling stuff from the animated What If series. It would be cool if they pull from the X-Men animated series. And it also wouldn't undo the events of Logan. Charles Xavier did die, and that was like Patrick Stewart's send-off movie. So if he's playing like a completely different person, I think if they pull from the X-Men animated show, and if he had the yellow levitating ship, and Deadpool's part of the Illuminati now.
I don't know if this is the Charles Xavier from the exact Fox X-Men timeline, whatever that was at the end of that series, because one thing that was clear is that Charles Xavier died in the year 2029 in Logan after it was revealed he accidentally killed all the X-Men, or most of them. I think it's likelier that this Charles could be from a branch timeline within that universe, because time travel screwed up a lot of stuff there, let's be honest. He actually could be something closer to a live-action version of the X-Men 97.
Oh shit, I was just saying that!
Perfect cross-promotion for the new series.
Now yes, there are 6 chairs.
Good
So
call.
let's try to fill these chairs, who they belong to. 2 of the figures are seated, and one walks in with a cane. So I'm wondering if this could be Charles, who in this form has found his ability to walk once more. Now the seated figure on the left
but he
wears
rolls.
a form-fitting suit that you could say looks a lot like the vibranium armor of Black Panther. And yes, this Illuminati lineup may include a new actor playing a variant T'Challa. However, I think this particular figure just looks a bit more slender in the arms, like Reed Richards. But that would also make it less likely to be John Krasinski. Yeah, let's be honest, he's jacked, Ryan. But let's slide over to that other seated
Bring
figure
back
who
John
is
Grufford.
hooded. Could this be Sorcerer Supreme Mordo? Or alt-reality Photon or Spectrum Monica Rambeau? Or were those Ultron sentries a clue that one member of this panel is actually Ultron Infinity from What If? Or that brilliant ship of Theseus White Vision from Wandavision? But my favorite version of this would be this could be a reality in which Tony Stark's Ultron protocol actually succeeded instead of turning on him, which led to him being able to evolve into the superior Iron Man, one played by
Tom Cruise.
I mean, we've heard this speculation for years, and now it just seems all possible, doesn't it? But let's focus on what Charles actually says here. We should tell him the truth. What truth? The truth that Strange maybe didn't do anything wrong? Or that him becoming a sorcerer was a mistake? Or that all of this is just some Kang exposed sham organization? Perhaps, but I think the truth here is
about
that
Wanda?
the MCU that we have loved all these years is not the core reality of this multiverse. That instead, we have actually been living in an incomplete post-House of M reality, where mutants have been erased this whole time. We just didn't see it as anything wrong. And now,
Before you go any further, I did a whole video where I was like, did this whole theory about it like a couple of weeks ago.
No more mutants.
What if the MCU timeline we've been watching for the last 13 years, no more mutants, has already happened?
If I'm anywhere near the same page as you, Eric, I am flipping out right now.
You are
I
winning.
literally said this exact thing.
You are winning this video. That's like 3 solid theories in a row.
Just keep going.
No, you burned it.
I mean, no, man, we gotta wait to see. I might be like jumping the shark here.
okay, some real bonkers shit here. Doctor Strange and America Chavez fall through a reality.
That freaking dinosaur! I never noticed
And then
that.
to top that,
Like
they
King
insanely
Kong
smash
right
into
now.
an animated cartoon reality. This could be how the way doors open to crossovers with What If. This could actually be how the animated Captain Carter gets roped into this. Then Strange and America
Holy
explode into
shit.
cubic
Keep
puzzle
her
pieces.
animated the whole
Visual
movie.
looks like a mix of Drax's Reality Stone hit in Infinity War and Joe Quesada's art of the Scarlet Witch on the House of M variant cover. Some of their blocks look like stones from a statue,
That is so
and you can
disturbing.
actually see the rows of Steven's individual teeth still intact in his gums on each block.
Dude, this movie's like Space Jam and New Legacy.
We're into the serververse, the Marvel serververse.
If they're going into the animated world, that would mean every event we saw in What If is part of its own separate animated universe, multiverse.
I guess, and then every animated series is part of its own animated universe. There's just an animated side of reality.
Wow, that is nuts.
Looks like Wanda will invade Illuminati HQ and get into a huge brawl with someone who looks like they're going binary the way Captain Marvel does. But if you look at that person closely, this is a woman of color. Now, I know some of you think this is Tom Cruise with a goatee, but that's just contouring of her cheeks. Tom Cruise's figure is not this womanly, folks. This is definitely either Monica
Yeah,
Rambeau
definitely.
or her mother, Maria Rambeau. Maria Rambeau's call sign was Photon, and in the main MCU, she died of cancer during the blip. But in Wandavision, Monica Rambeau powered up into the superhero we assume will either be Photon or Spectrum, and the moment that happened, her body was split into several
such a good
alternate
sequence.
selves as she passed through that hex wall. And I think one of those alternate selves could be this one we are seeing now. And if you think about it, Monica fighting Wanda seems to be the most epic collision, considering these two were both there for the Battle of Westview.
Exactly.
in WandaVision.
It lines up
Then
story-wise,
we see the
yeah.
attack on
That's all I believe
Camouflage
that,
in
yeah.
the tea room that we saw in the 2016 film, including Master Hamir returning from that film. Then a close-up of America
Hamir?
Chavez gives a good look at her wardrobe. Stars embroidered on her jean jacket, along with the phrase "Amor es amor," love is love, and a flag pin signaling some LGBTQ plus representation. Gargantos throws the
Woke
bus
Marvel.
with an ad on the end for La Llave Coffee, the key, with the tagline "Unlock a better day." And then over to the left, a phone booth has an ad for Celestial Tea, the magic of tea. Then I love this shot. Strange looks up at another alternate sanctum with a statue out front, a statue that has no facial hair, though in this New York, greenery and oddly curved wind turbines cover all the buildings, and white flowering trees line the streets, trees like the ones
In Wanda's
fake
orchard, yeah.
So in Strange's nightmare, we saw the darkest timeline. Here, this looks like the brightest timeline, where a variant Strange has used his powers only to better society. Moving on.
Nice. We really want to hear what this is. Yeah. We really want to hear this part.
That doesn't seem fair.
Okay, so interesting. Two Wandas meet each other, and this is Wanda's Westview house in Wandavision. You can see two scooters in the background belonging to her sons, Billy and Tommy. One of their baseball gloves on the floor there. But this place is wrecked. The staircase handrail, the balusters are broken, as if there was a fight between these two Wandas. And the standing one is the one who is barefoot. Youch! I actually wonder if this kneeling Wanda tried to recreate the Westview hex to have her children once more, but failed. And now, defeated, she's letting the darker side of her identity take over. If you think about it, the last time we saw her, her consciousness was split into two conscious selves. Something people who astrally project normally can't do. There was one in casual wear brewing tea, and then the other one in the Scarlet Witch form searching for her kids actively. And now I am wondering which of those two is actually the deadlier threat. The one who's searching for her kids, or the one who's just sipping tea, not giving up? We see that shot again of Mordo striking Strange's cuffs. Now I'm wondering if Mordo might be doing this on purpose to free Strange so that Strange can help them fight this invading Scarlet Witch. But it might be too late because a huge explosion from red chaos magic tears through the HQ, leading to these elaborate fireworks as we think Rambo's form gets blasted through that explosion. Then this other sorcerer uses a...
There's so much happening I can't even keep up in this.
The TV spot actually showed America Chavez beneath this gross underbelly, and in these close-ups you can see how each of its tentacles suckers are actually barbed with teeth. Then this gnarly shot of Wanda aiming red chaos magic. She's at the doorway of Illuminati HQ. Her face is bleeding like crazy, and separately she has black ink stains on her shirt. Behind her in the distance looks like one of the bells of Kamartaj. Perhaps after sacking that location and holding her seance there, she used that to access the gateway to this compound. But why does she want to get in here? Well, when the camera zooms into her eye, there's a brief image of two holding cells. These are Illuminati detention cells. Doctor Strange was cuffed in one of these, and in the TV spot, Christian Palmer works among other techs who hold America in another cell. So I think the reason Wanda hasn't been able to find a reality with her sons, the reason why her attempt to recreate Westview didn't work, is that the Illuminati are detaining Billy and Tommy here in these two cells. And for Wanda, that's especially infuriating because it's exactly what Hydra did to her and her twin brother, locking them up in adjacent cells. Like in the comic House of M, all of this madness comes from a denial by Professor X and by Doctor Strange to allow Wanda reality with her children. And it's gonna end with Wanda drastically warping all that reality, but in this case, I think a restoration of mutants alongside Avengers in the MCU.
But why would they not, in this storyline, why would they not allow her to have her children?
I don't know, because I mean, if they're just creations, what would it hurt, I guess, unless there is some true Mephisto connection there that we don't know about yet, that they know about. It could happen at this juncture. I feel like that could actually maybe happen.
With the amount of crap that's being included in this one movie.
Now it suddenly seems way less far-fetched than before.
Oh, that's interesting. I really love everything they're saying with Wanda, and I love the idea that she's not fighting like a variant of herself, but she's fighting, she's encountering something she has also created as well.
Yeah, she's like split herself, and the split has become too powerful between the two of them almost. Yeah.
So we end with a version of Doctor Strange and Wong on this snowy mountaintop trying to rein in these demonic figures. These beings look like they're actually made of the same inky texture that the buildings and the other surfaces are melting into, as if this is the chaos that it's all bleeding into. Now the TV spot actually shows Strange facing another peak across the way with some winged devil at the peak of it. That spot also shows a close-up of Strange whose face is rotting away, looking a lot like his zombie Strange self in What If Episode 5. I pointed out because the TV spot also includes a shot of Wanda looking especially zombie-like. Now, while Zombie Strange in that episode got devoured by ants, Zombie Wanda survived, and she returned in the final episode. So I don't know if these are zombies as much as they're just animated corpses, but it is insane to see their souls so strong that they can keep their bodies intact long after their flesh should have expired.
Holy shit. What if one of them is just a zombie and then one is a reanimated corpse? I mean, that's something that Sam Raimi would really know how to utilize. Come on, Deadeye. God, it's very, very.
Well, and two, what I noticed is that it looks like the same outfit and the similar blood splatter pattern as the shot where she's got the magic and it zooms into her eyes. So I'm wondering, like, is Wanda gonna somehow die and then through the power of chaos reanimate herself?
Yeah, because that is a good call. That's what I was thinking too, especially if that's where Christine Palmer's located. So yeah, this could just be instead of going to the Marvel Zombieverse, it could just be reanimated corpses. Would probably make more sense because those corpses don't seem too smart, whereas these guys seem to possess some intelligence.
Marvel Deadites, let's do it.
The final shot shows this rotting Strange blocking a rift into darkness. Dozens of inky skeletons trying to shove out past him as skeleton arms fan out behind him, evoking the images of Icon pose that he formed when fighting Thanos in Infinity War. Now, counteracting that spell was the one time we saw the Soul Stone being used in the MCU, and I find it interesting that Strange's soul is all he has left. The film title comes together from hundreds of pieces, like the shattering and reassembling shards of reality in this movie, but this is the third title design we've seen. It's almost like the studio wants us to constantly reframe the reality in which we see this movie every time they talk about it. So folks, you've got to check out our new merch.
So it wasn't Goofy talking about it.
Nope. I guess not now.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EABoss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Man, if there's anyone to get a Mephisto shirt from, it's freaking you guys.
Yeah, dude. We both call dibs on that one.
Yeah, you'll get. Well, there's two. We can decide who gets who. Guys, leave your thoughts down below. See you soon. Thanks for watching New Rockstars, man. Subscribe to me. All right, bye.